So I think we're about ready to get underway now. So once again, good afternoon, everyone, and a very warm welcome to today's PV Tech webinar in association with JA Solar. I'm Ben Willis, Acting Editor-in-Chief at Solar Media, which publishes PV Tech alongside our other industry-leading news channels such as Energy Storage News and Solar Power Portal. As everyone working in the clean energy sector and beyond will no doubt be aware, last week saw the launch of the COP28 climate change negotiations in Dubai. A highly appropriate backdrop for today's webinar as the renewable energy industry finds itself in the spotlight as the key focal point for global efforts to tackle the climate breakdown. Shortly after the event kicked off last week, news broke that over 100 countries around the world had signed up to a pledge to triple renewable energy capacity to a massive 11 terawatts by 2030. Solar will undoubtedly have a central role in delivering on these targets, meaning further global growth of the industry in the coming decades is virtually a given. What will be fascinating to observe is how the upstream side of the business continues to innovate to ensure that PV technology delivers better efficiency, greater reliability, and a lower levelized cost of electricity. Indeed, already we are witnessing a technological shift as the industry's leading manufacturers transition from the once dominant P-type cell technology to N-type, which in 2023 has made huge progress towards becoming a mainstream technology choice. All the signs are that by the end of the decade, N-type will be the industry's dominant cell technology as other manufacturers follow the lead set by the early adopters. One of these early adopters is, of course, JA Solar, which has emerged as a leading force in the transition from P-type to N-type. And today we're fortunate to have the opportunity to hear some of that story. We're delighted to welcome JA Solar's Latin America Utility Sales Director, Gabriel Magdalon, and its Senior Product Manager, Lida Guo, who will walk us through the company's development of N-type technologies over the last decade and its latest N-type product launch, the Deep Blue 4.0 Pro module. We're also joined by Holly Hu, Principal Research Analyst at S&P Global Market Intelligence, who will give us the big picture on the solar market's future development and N-type's increasingly central role in that story. As always, interaction with you, the audience, is greatly important to us and the success of these webinars. So please put your questions for today's speakers in the questions tab on your screen, and we will do our best to answer them in the Q&A sessions after the presentations. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce the first of our speakers, Gabriel Magdalon, who will begin today's presentations. Thank you, Gabriel. Over to you.
Hello, thanks, Ben. It's a pleasure to be here to talk about JA Solar. So I will make a quick presentation about the company and some big numbers and key information. So JA, as you may know, it's a module manufacturer based in China. It was founded in 2005. Have been listed in NASDAQ. Nowadays is listed in Shenzhen stock. We count with more than 30,000 employees nowadays. Last year we had a revenue of more than $10 billion US, which we invested around $600 million US in R&D, which means 6% of our revenue. So historically we have been investing something around 5 to 7% of our revenue in R&D, which shows how this is important for JA. We have shipped more than 150 gigawatts in more than 130 countries around the world. We have 13 global factories. Last year we had a market share of 16%. We are also listed in Fortune China 500, and well, we have been consistently top 3 module in terms of shipment globally. So here you can see our presence around the world. So the blue flag is where we have the office. Our headquarters is based in Beijing, in China. And the yellow flags is where we also have warehouses to support our global business, our local business. And those two graphics, you can see the first one is the global installation by region. So not considering GA, but in general, general installations. So you can see that China is the biggest market, so covering around 41% of the total installations, followed by Europe and America and Asia Pacific. And the second graphic is the shipment of JA. So yeah, of course, China is also the main market, followed by Europe. But you can see like the Americas and the Asia Pacific, we have room to improve. That's why we are building the team in those regions to guarantee and make sure that we can support our customer properly. So JA is a fully integrated company. So we produce since the ingot to the module. Nowadays we have 95 gigawatts of capacity. It's increasing, I would say, also on a monthly basis. So next year we will have more than 100 gigawatts of capacity. And to having the fully integrated production is very important because we can control the quality of the supply chain, and also be more cost efficient. So we can deliver a very good product with a very competitive price. And below you can see where our factories are based. So mainly in China, but we also have a factory in Vietnam to supply to the US and Canadian market. And also now we are starting a facility in US of around 2 gigawatts of capacity globally yearly to supply to the US market. So besides the production itself, JA is also very well prepared in terms of ESG. So ESG has been something that are being requested more and more in this solar industry. And JA is very well prepared to comply with the international standards. So on a yearly basis, we release a ESG report, which is online, so everyone can have access to this report, where we put the actions and the ambitious targets that we have in terms of ESG. And it's really, really amazing and really impressive how fast the Chinese companies can really shift, and have like very ambitious targets and be able to comply with those targets. And besides that, we also we bring third-party companies to make the audits in our factories to ensure that we are in compliance with the international standards and in transparency. Also, something that has been very, it's a big concern to the market and has been requested a lot is regarding traceability of the supply chain. So JA also is very well prepared about it. So we can confirm and we can share with our customer all the map of the supply chain to guarantee that we have no forced labor in any part of our supply chain. So this is something that we are really proud to present and to show how well organized we are in terms of traceability. So when we are choosing a module supplier for your project, it's also very important to check like third-party companies performing some tests in the modules. So of course, the module supplier will have all the international standards such as like IC, UL, or some local certifications, but also it's very important to see like how they perform under the PVAL tests or RETC, which bring some samples of many suppliers and make very hard and very like stressed tests to see which one is really performing well under very hard climate situation. So yeah, and we are very proud also to be a top performer in PVAL and RETC for many consecutive years. It shows how we care about the quality of our products. And this pyramid is also very interesting to show. Well, in the base of the pyramid, you can see that nowadays we have more than 200 module suppliers. I would say much more than 200 module suppliers globally. Among them, only 39 are considered tier 1 according to Bloomberg. So you have a big filter on that. Amongst those 39, only 35 are considered top performer from the PVAL, and only 8 of them are considered top performer according to the RETC. And we are in a selective group that we have all those certifications, and we are also considered AAA according to PVTech. So it's not just also regarding the quality of the production and the product itself, but we are also considered a very bankable company, which is also very important to get financing for some projects or to attract some investors for the project itself. So yeah, so this is my presentation. It was very quick. Here you have my contacts. If you have any doubts, any questions, you feel free to contact me. Thanks, Ben.
Thank you very much, Gabriel, for that presentation. We'll move straight on. Lida Guo, JA Solar's Senior Product Manager, will take us through the company's N-type story and with a close look at the Deep Blue 4.0 Pro module. So over to you, Lida. Thank you.
Thanks, Ben. Hello, everyone. I'm delighted to be here as the Product Strategy Manager at JA Solar. Today, it's my privilege to introduce you to an innovative advancement in solar technology, JA Solar's new generation N-type product, Deep Blue 4.0 Pro. Well, I have divided my presentation into 3 main parts. First, I'll introduce the PV technologies and development trend, and then I'll talk about our new generation N-type products. And finally, I will show you some product value analysis. So now let's start with the PV technologies. As many of you may know, during the past decade, the mainstream cell technology has been advancing from BSF to PERC technology, which is still the dominant technology in the market now. In last year, the N-type solar cell were put into mass production, including TOPCon and HJT. Besides, the back contact solar cell technology is in development as well. And another promising technology I'd like to mention is this tandem solar cell technology. In recent years, the efficiency of this perovskite in silicon tandem solar cell has been increasing rapidly, and it has become a hot topic in the industry. However, there's still a long way to go before it can be mass produced, because there's still some reliability issues for perovskite cells, and it contains some toxic elements. Well, now let's get back to this PERC technology. It is a very mature technology. So the efficiency is very close to the upper limit. It is close to 24% in mass production. So further efficiency improvement and cost reduction space is limited. And after PERC, the next technology still needs to have the mass production characteristics, including high efficiency, low cost, good product yield, and so on. Well, this TOPCon technology is this kind of technology, so it will become the mainstream technology in the market next year. Now, I'd like to share some information about module technologies. One of the important development direction is high-density encapsulation. As can be seen here, there are various high-density technologies, including shingling, tiling ribbon, and small spacing. But for shingling and tiling ribbon, there still exists some process challenges, and the long-term reliability still needs to be further verified. And this small spacing technology takes into account the product yield, power improvement, reliability, and other factors, so it will gradually become the mainstream of high-density encapsulation technology. In the future, the module design will still pursue optimal LCOE. To reduce the LCOE, we'll need to further reduce the module cost, improve the module efficiency, power generation performance, and long-term reliability. So what kind of products has JA Solar designed for current and future solar market? Let's move to the next part and have a look at the next generation N-type products by JA Solar. JA Solar has always been committed to building a leading brand in the PV industry. In 2020, we launched the Deep Blue 3.0 series, and that started a new chapter for 182 models. 3 years later, we launched this Deep Blue 4.0 Pro, which is based on the latest high-efficiency N-type cell technology and advanced module technologies. The efficiency is up to 22.5 and the power is up to 630 watts. Well, we have designed several types of modules with different sizes to meet customers' different demand. Next, I'd like to introduce the design concept behind the products. In the market, the mainstream models available in 54, 48, 66, 72, and 78 cell versions with different module lengths from 172 to 2465 millimeters. And according to incomplete statistics, there are at least six kinds of different wafer sizes, as can be seen here. So if you want to produce several mainstream module types, you'll need at least 3 wafer types with different sizes. So different sizes will bring difficulty in production and management. So JA Solar released an innovative rectangular wafer solution in May this year, and we hope it will help the industry unify the wafer sizes. So the wafer size is 182 by 199. If we cut in the middle, we'll get half cell of 182 by 199, which can be used to produce our highlight product, the 72 cell version with power of 630 watts, and another 66 cell version. If we cut it a little off center, we'll get the larger half, which is the half cell of 182 by 210. And the smaller half is the half cell of 182 by 188. We have both 54 cell and 72 cell versions for different application scenarios. Well, the application of this rectangular silicon wafer not only effectively increases the module power, but also makes it possible to produce 5 different types of modules using only 1 wafer size. So compared with the equivalent products in the industry, it has significant manufacturing cost advantages and greater customer value. For the entire industry, a single wafer size can avoid wasting resources in the manufacturing process of silicon ingots, wafers, and cells. It allows PV companies to choose the equipment and materials with similar specifications. A single wafer size will also lead to standard module size. Eventually, we'll get a lower integration cost and better system value. This slide shows the design concept of our highlight product from the Blue 4.0 Pro series. It's called 72D42 module. So 2 years ago, JA Solar, Jinko, and LONGi announced the standard module size of M10 series modules. For 78 cell module, the dimension is shown here, 1134 by 2465 millimeter. And our new product has exactly the same dimension. And this dimension has become one of the important specifications in the industry, and it has been widely used in various applications since it was launched. But we are only using 72 cell here. So with smaller cell quantity, we're able to further reduce the VOC by 7.6%. So we can get lower hotspot risk. And at the system side, the number of modules per string can be increased, thereby reducing the BOS cost by about 0.5%. Next, let's have a look at the features and technologies of DeepBlue 4.0 Pro. It is based on BiSym Plus solar cell technology, which is an N-type TOPCon technology. Just JA Solar has developed our own formulas. It employs JA Solar's low oxygen silicon wafer, and we have adopted surface passivation for both front and rear surface, selective emitter at the front, and passivated contact at the back side. And the cell efficiency in the mass production has hit 26%, and the open circuit voltage has reached 733 millivolts. These are at the industry leading level. Besides the leading cell technology, we have also applied some core module technologies. The first one is the rectangular wafer technology. So compared with the conventional square wafers, the rectangular wafers enable more efficient use of the cell space in the module, so we can achieve higher power output at lower cost. The second one is super multi-busbar technology. By using more and thinner bus bars, we are able to further reduce the shading losses, resistive losses, and minimize the impact of broken finger on electrical performance. In addition, small spacing, high density technology has been applied to further increase the efficiency. And finally, highly reliable materials such as EP encapsulation films and high-strength glass have been used for both sides of the module to enhance the overall reliability of the product. With the new BiSym solar cell technology and core module technologies, DeepBlue 4.0 Pro has excellent reliability. As can be seen here, we have done various reliability tests, both IEC test and extended IEC test, so including LETID, LID, PID, and so on. As can be seen here, the power degradation after the test was less than 3%, which is much lower than the IEC standard at 5%. In addition, we have also passed this ASTME 1597 standard test. So after these tests, the power degradation was only 0.322%. So this demonstrates the module's ability to withstand repeated exposure to salty atmospheres, immersion in seawater, and temperature changes caused by seawater splashing on modules. Last but not least, the DeepBlue 4.0 Pro has excellent power generation ability because of the following factors. It has lower power degradation rate, higher beneficial benefits, better low light performance, and better temperature coefficient. Next, let's move to the last part to see the product value of DeepBlue 4.0 Pro. We have compared the BOS cost and LCOE of 3 different types of models based on the simulation of some utility scale projects. So the first model type is the regular 72-cell N-type module, and the second one is the N-type module with length of 2382 millimeter, and the third one is JA Solar's highlight product, 72D42 with a power of 630 watts. So as can be seen here, in a 2P fixed tilt system, the BOS of 72D42 module is 1.5% lower than the baseline, the 72-cell module, and the LCOE is 0.65% lower. If 1P tracker or 2P tracker is used, the BOS and LCOE can be even lower. For example, here, in a 1P tracker system, the BOS for 72D42 module is 3.1% lower and LCOE is about 1.5% lower. This slide gives us the BOS and LCOE comparison for some rooftop PV stations. So for this commercial rooftop station, the BOS for this model is about 30% lower and LCOE is about 1.6% lower. And for this residential station, the BOS is about 8% lower and LCOE is about 4.3% lower. Besides, we have also done simulations of various models available in the market, both P-type and N-type. So based on our results, compared with the P-type models, the BOS of Deep Blue 4.0 Pro is 2 to 4.5% lower, and LCOE is about 2.5 to 6% lower. Compared with the original N-type model, the BOS of 4.0 Pro is about 2% lower, and LCOE is about 1% lower. In summary, JA Solar's new generation rectangular wafer provides a better solution for the industry to maximize the value of upstream and downstream, and it makes it possible to produce various mainstream module types by using just one wafer size. It is hoped that this solution will help the PV industry unify the wafer sizes and standardize the module sizes. This will promote the high-quality development of the industry and truly achieve win-win situation of the whole industry chain. Well, that's all I want to share today. Thanks for your attention.
Thank you very much, Lida. A really interesting overview there of the Deep Blue 4.0. So thank you very much. So we now come to our final presentation of the webinar. So I'd like to hand over to Holly Hu from S&P Global, who will give us some insights into the current state of the PV market worldwide and some thoughts on future developments to look out for. So over to you, Holly. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ben. Hello, everyone. Thank you for Jay for inviting me to join this online webinar. My name is Holly, and analyst from S&P Global Commodity Insight. Today, my topic is about global solar's momentum and challenges. My topic today will cover 3 parts. The first one goes to the renewable energy investment, and the secondly goes to how annually the global solar will be added per year and by different regions. And the third one goes to the supply chain side with the oversupply situation right now, and also we are facing some challenges with the local requirements for the productions. So we are seeing some challenges and also the opportunities for the solar sectors. Okay, then we move to the renewable side. Yeah, during these days, we saw the COP28 was held in Dubai this week, and a lot of countries joined the net zero carbon emissions plan. So that's definitely will join more countries to the renewable world. So in this part, we'll break down the key technologies in the clean energy technologies, like solar utility scale, solar DPV, onshore wind, offshore wind, energy storage, hydrogen, and CCUS. From the renewable assets investment, we saw solar still covers the mainstream, like nearly 50 to 60% of global renewable assets investment will goes to the solar sectors. So during this segments, we are finding with the lower capex in the solar and also with the volumes increase in the solar installations, we're finding the renewable investment in this segment is quite flat. And also in the right-hand side pie chart, we are showing how much different regions will invested in renewable assets, like mainland China, Europe, North American, and Asia Pacific is the main region and countries to have most renewable assets adding into their regions. We're forecasting like 5.6 trillion US dollars will be invested in the renewable assets during 2023 to 2030, and nearly 700 billion US dollars invested every year in the world. And also we're knowledge about that is every year we're actually increasing the forecast for this total renewable assets investment, especially during these times we saw a lot of emerging market also joining the renewable world to adding their assets into the sectors. Okay, then we move to the global solar demand. We are publishing every quarter with the PV installation forecasts by different countries and regions, and also the quarterly and the different system segments. In this chart, we are showing the global annual installations from last 2 decades, from 2010 to 2030, and it shows by different regions and growth rate of global solar installed every year. So 2023 is a remarkable year for the solar world because it gives like historical record high in this decades with nearly 60% growth, and also we are forecasting like nearly 390 gigawatts of solar will be adding this year. And the reason behind this remarkable growth is in past 2 years we are facing some challenges in the supply chain bottleneck with the COVID pandemic and also the Russian-Ukraine crisis. That drivers the solar world become more robust growth in this year. And also the mainland China is the key countries to dominate the solar installation in this year with nearly 50% growth solar adding to China. And also for the futures growth, we saw the growth momentum still there, but the growth rate a little bit declined because we saw some key countries and regions shows the less growth rate. But we also see some emerging market have a more potential to adding to the solar in their energy mix. Then we move to the little bit about the key countries in the solar world. Like we comparison the top 10 markets in 2023 to 2024. And definitely China will leading the 2023 solar demand in covers like accounts 50% of solar installation in this year. And because the first 10 months, China adding like 143 gigawatts AC solar adding to the system, and also largely potential will reach the 170 gigawatts of DC into the in the grid, and that gives the total installation number reach over 200 gigawatts this year. And the next year, China will facing some challenges because the grid investment speed is much lower than the renewable development. So we saw some utility scale probably will facing some challenges with the grid consumption rate a little bit lower, and the stress from the DPV side as well with some limitations on the connection levels. But we saw the US and the Indian market become more stronger growth in the next year, especially like India. They have a ALMM policy will be expand by early next year, the first quarter and next year. So we're expected Indian market will be more stronger than this year. And also in the top 10 markets, we're followed by a lot of European main market like Germany, Spain, Netherlands, and also some Asian countries like Japan and Australia. And another new market coming to the 2024 solar development in top 10 list is Saudi Arabia, which we saw a lot of utility projects coming online and pushing this market is booming. In addition to the mainstream market, we also see some diversification from the solar investment in the future. One statistic shows the number of gigawatts countries to adding the solar will increasing a lot. From 2021, we're checking like 80 countries have a gigawatts installation per year, and in 2024 we're largely see this number doubled to 36. So including the main market still have the main shares, but we also saw the diversify of the solar market become into the more countries to join the solar world. Okay, then we move to a little bit the snapshot for Chinese market. Tier 2023, where statistics shows there's a 39% of global solar cumulative installed in mainland China, and the mainly contribute is from the utility scale. Nearly half of the global utility scale solar was installed in China. And also with the different subsidies since 2019, the residential solar also have a robust growth in past 4 years in China market. In addition to the future, we also saw some green hydrogen brings China become another key market for 20% of cumulative green hydrogen by solar will adding into the mainland China. However, in 2024, we're forecasting China market have a little bit slowed down compared with the huge growth in 2023 due to what we mentioned, like great connection issues in the utility scale and also some limitations on the DPV side as well. So we're forecasting like 172 gigawatts of solar will be adding into 2024's Chinese market. Okay, then we move to the European market. Europe market is quite traditional solar market. Since before 2010, Europe have a lot of incentive to adding to solar in this market. And also in 2022, with Ukraine-Russian crisis happened, DPV, especially residential plus storage system, is quite favored into the Europe market. And we saw this market growing quickly in the past because the EU's target for renewable are increasing a lot. By the Fit for 55 policy coming online, we saw the EU raising the renewable targets to the 42.5% by the end of 2030. So that's incentive to the Europe market become the key regions for the solar installations during this period. And also, European market is quite a typical DPV market. That's why we saw like nearly 60 to 70% of this region's solar installation goes to the DG sectors. And key market like Germany, Spain, Netherlands, Italy, and Poland, this top 5 markets nearly cover nearly 0.5% of global Europe DG market during the next 8 years. So we still see the market growth in this region and this segments. And in addition, with the much lower module price coming to since second half of this year, we also see some potential of utility scale projects to the in this region as well. Then we move to the US. Yeah, since August 2022, the U.S. government released IRA, Inflation Reduction Act is quite generate the demand for the renewable and standalone energy storage side. So we're checking the utility scale projects in the US, and we are funding the pipeline. Right now, we have already reached 260 gigawatts. And with the most of projects, it goes to the permit and planned and even approved status. And the Texas, California, and Nevada was the key states to increasing the utility scale projects. Also, in the DG sector, we are facing some high interest rate costs and also impact with some low retail electricity price days. But the demand for DG sector in US still quite stabilized. So in 2023, we are forecasting like 37 gigawatts of solar will be adding to the US, and in next year the demand goes to the more than 45 gigawatts. And except the key countries, key markets in the shares, we also saw some emerging markets join the solar installations in the future. Like the Latin Americans, Africa, there's a lot of potential to grow their solar investment and installations in the future. In the Latin American, we saw Brazil still be the #1 regional market. And even though they're facing some challenge with DG sectors in the grid connection fees issues, but we saw some utility scale will come into these countries to adding the solar in their sectors. And also the utility scale will cover this region by half, 50% of their demand in the next 8 years, and followed by the CNI sectors. Also from the Africa, we saw some great potentials. During the COP28, we're discussing a lot about emerging market called Global South. And in Africa, they have a total of 600 million people, and nearly half of those population are located on non-electricity supported regions. So that shows quite great potential for solar to building in this region to supporting their the region to providing the electricities. Okay, then we move to the supply chain side. Yeah, the first point I want to touch is about the solar supply chain was about sorry for the slides. First one, we want to talk about the oversupply situation and also with the local requirements for the solar supply chain in different regions. Firstly, we want to see from this chart is China still dominant in the capacity way from the solar sectors, like from polysilicon, wafer, cell, and module. The globally China covers like more than 70% shares of capacity in these sectors. And also, if we're considering the equipments and also the technology advantages in these sectors, China definitely dominant this segment. But also we found recent years like US request IRAs, the PTC in the IRA's Act, and also EU just come through the NZIA Act. All have some requirements on the solar local manufacturings. But the thing is, we still see China have the potential in this industry, because when we calculate how much cost down into this industry, the key factors to drive cost down is like the scale and the whole local manufacturing, the whole integrated manufacturing, and also the technology investment. So basically, we still see the China mainland will dominate this industry, but definitely with the EU's NZIA, even India's PLI, also with the US IRA requirements, we saw that will be diversify a little bit for the future's solar supply chain sectors. And also with the overcapacity situation in the solar industry, we're also facing the big changes in the technology side. As Lida mentioned, we saw the key cell technology from the PERC transferred to the N-type technology in the future. So definitely the N-type production and technology will lead in the next few years the capacity level. Okay, then we summarize a little bit about my presentation today. The first one is we see the global solar still have the growth momentum, and also the different market have a different pace in the solar investment. Also, the great connection issues will have raising up some downturn risk for the key markets, but we saw the key the oversupply situation and the technology transmission accelerate the module price decline, and with the cheap solar system coming online, the more opportunity will brings to the market as well, like the solar plus storage, and also with the green hydrogen make more available for the industry, and also with some emerging solar market with the lower capex coming to the solar, that will give more potential growth in those emerging markets. Okay, thank you. Back to you, Ben.
Many thanks, Holly. That was great. A really good overview there of lots of different market dynamics. So thank you very much. So we're now at the question and answer stage of the webinar. So we've had lots of good questions coming through. So we'll try and get through as many as we can. Just one, I guess, sort of. Big picture question to start with regards to the sort of general market adoption of N-type technology. I think Lida and Holly, you both touched on this briefly, but it would be good to get some further thoughts. We're obviously at a sort of transitional point now between P-type being the dominant cell technology type to N-type, and it seems like 2022, 23 have both been fairly kind of pivotal years there. How do you see the market share of N-type developing over the rest of this year and into next year and beyond? And in terms of JA Solar's own involvement in that, what sort of expectations would you have for the future in terms of the ongoing development of N-type products? So I guess perhaps, Lida, do you want to pick that one up initially?
Yeah, okay. So maybe I'd better introduce the situation of JA Solar about our global shipments. In the current year, our global shipments are set to reach an impressive 55 to 60 gigawatts, and N-type will account for about 15% of the total. Regarding our next year shipment target, actually it will be calibrated to align with the market demand and our business strategy later. So I don't have it right now. But many industry players, JA Solar included, are opting for TOPCon technology due to its remarkable efficiency, cost effectiveness, and the compatibility with the existing PERC technology. So hopefully next year, the TOPCon technology will be dominant in the market.
Okay.
Yeah, that counts. Yeah.
Thank you. And Holly, is there anything you would add to the sort of general big picture question around the transition from P-type to N-type?
Yes. Actually, we saw the P-type is gradually replaced by the N-type right now. And from the cell level capacity, we're seeing like in next year, 2024, the global cell capacity will over 1 gigawatt. And then the N-type was covered like 50%. So quite large shares in the total capacity levels.
And I'd just be interested to get a kind of market level view. Gabriel, obviously you're in your position, you're very much sort of, you've got your ear to the ground in terms of what the sort of end market is demanding. I mean, what's the perspective you've got, you know, with your experience in Latin America in terms of, you know, what developers are looking for in terms of N-type versus P-type technologies, and what are the sort of factors behind that?
Well, when you are developing, building a project, the main concern and the main number to achieve is the LCOE. So it doesn't matter. Of course, like the P-type has a very big track record. The N-type is more efficient, but after all, like just a matter of who is bringing the best cost of energy for the project. So saying that, well, of course, with the reduction of the cost of the N-type, now like N-type products are bringing better LCOE, but I cannot say that, well, this will, for next year, for sure, the N-type will be better than P-type, because it depends. Sometimes the P-type cost will reduce even more, you know, and you still have like kind of balance between the price that can bring a better cost of energy considering P-type. But it's true that more and more we are receiving more demand for N-type, not only because the cost now is close to the P-type, so it brings better LCOE, but also considering the lifetime of the product. So also this is something that the developers also care about, to say like for 1 to 3 years, if I need to replace or I need to increase a little bit my project, I would like a product that are still available in the market. So that's
okay. Thank you very much. And yeah, I mean, one of our questioners has asked about the sort of relative benefits of a JA Solar N-type product versus some of the other sort of early market leaders in this this area. Perhaps could put this one to Leader. Be good to hear what some of the sort of advantages of a JA Solar module such as Deep Blue 4.0 Pro would be versus others that are out there.
Okay, thanks for the question. I think the standout feature of the Deep Blue 4.0 Pro lies in its innovative use of the 182 by 199 rectangle wafers. And this is exemplified by the 72D42 module with power of 630 watts. So there are several advantages. So the first one is the cost effectiveness. The adoption of this 182 by 199 wafer is a game changer. You know, JA Solar is the first one to use this dimension of the wafer. So through the symmetrical cutting and unsymmetrical cutting, as well as the optimized cell design, we can produce 5 different types of modules with just one wafer size. So there's no need to upgrade or purchase new equipment for producing different wafers and cells. And it also avoids switching wafer and cell production lines, which is costly and time consuming. And the second advantage is the high power output. The Deep Blue 4.0 Pro, especially our highlight product 72D42, achieves an outstanding power output of up to 630 watts. So this makes it the most powerful among all 182 series products available in the market. And this higher power leads to smaller usage of cables, racks, thereby reducing the BS and LCOE.
Sorry, Leader, your microphone went a little bit muffled then. I wonder if you'd repeat that last point. Thank you.
So the second point, high power output, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the Deep Blue 4.0 Pro, especially the 72D42 module, our highlight product, achieved an outstanding power output of up to 630 watts. So this makes it the most powerful among all 182 series modules available in the market. And additionally, the higher power leads to smaller usage of cables and racks, so thereby reducing the BOS and LCOE. Also, I have a third point, reduce VOC and better reliability. As I mentioned, the voltage is lower for this product. So this not only lower the hotspot risk, but enhance the safety and the reliability of the model. So this can ensure the stable and performance in different environment conditions. And another thing I'd like to mention is the Deep Blue 4.0's foundation on N-type TOPCon technology. JA Solar actually has accumulated like 14-year history of research in this area. So with this extensive technological expertise, the average efficiency can hit 26%. So this is leading in the industry. Well, I think thanks for giving me this opportunity to share these exciting features. And we believe these innovations will contribute significantly to the industry. And we really look forward to proceeding our journey of excellence and innovation.
Thanks very much, Lida. We've got one last question, I think, before we wrap up. And in fact, various people have asked this in different ways. So I'll try and sort of wrap it into a single question. But yeah, various people have asked about the sort of degradation side of things. I think in your presentation you talked about the module's performance in sort of salty conditions. I mean, I guess that's one of a number of possible, sort of degradation pathways here. Could you talk a bit more about the sort of degradation side of things? I mean, obviously, you as all module manufacturers will be subjecting your products to all kinds of screening and testing. Could you talk us through what you do with regards to N-type and its performance, sort of in terms of degradation with things like lid and some of those other UVID and things like that, please?
Actually, we have been continuously optimizing our process and materials. Actually, for N-type module, the PID issue and the DH test results are really important. So we are optimizing the like silver paste with our suppliers together, and also we are trying to use some low water vapor transmission backsheet and better encapsulation materials to further enhance the overall reliability of the models. And hopefully next year we will launch our monofacial N-type module, because we will solve the reliability issues for the monofacial N-type module.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm just seeing if we've got any other questions we could just fit in before we wrap up for the day, for the webinar. Yes, we've had a question here about silver prices and whether, because obviously that's a big factor here. And I just wonder if you'd have any comments about the current role of the price of silver in terms of the development of N-type technology. Would it be likely that we'd see a reduction in silver use, or perhaps even replacing with other materials in the fullness of time?
Well, for TOPCon, we are trying to reduce the usage of the silver paste. For example, we are now developing the zero busbar technology to reduce the silver paste. And also we are we're using thinner bus bars and bus bars. So this will also help us to save the silver.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Good. All right. Well, I think that pretty much brings us to the end. So thank you very much to all our speakers today, to leader Gabriel Holly, some really interesting insights into N-type technology, its importance in the future evolution of the solar market worldwide. And thanks obviously to all of you for tuning in today and for your questions. I'm aware we didn't get to all of them, so apologies if that was the case with you, but we do appreciate your interaction. It always helps and bring the yes, it really helps sort of bring the webinar to life. So thanks very much, and thank you. And we look forward. Hopefully, you'll join us for a future webinar on PV Tech. So thank you, and have a good afternoon. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Bye.